Now, it will be recalled that during the last State of the Nation address, President Akufo-Addo made reference to such projects while assuring that works will resume as soon as the contracts have been re-awarded. We'll bring you details on this, on the progress of this road here on this channel. Now, government's policy to implement the Planting for Food and Jobs program may have yielded results, but the manifestation is yet to be felt by consumers. Some traders who sell foodstuffs at some markets complain of the excessive use of chemicals by farmers these days. They say despite the health challenges such chemicals pose, it's also difficult to store such food crops for longer periods. Richard Kojunyako is on that beat for JoyNews Agenda today.
The daily hustle and bustle here at the Abra market in Cape Coast. Familiar sight one cannot miss. Foodstuffs are in abundance here at the market, but the sellers of such stuff say the huge cost of transporting the goods from the farm gate to the market centers continues to make foodstuffs expensive to buy.
I shall say no to them. Since you months and a buy it. I feel so. A coffee bar, not a bottle. I feel so. What can they say for the buyers? Until I'm at months and a buy it. Not once and so, yeah, the bar. What should I was a car to another, also count at once and buy it.
At first, it wasn't like this. Now the tomatoes are expensive because we bring the tomatoes from neighboring countries. The exchange rate is too high.
Oh, Yama never cosro. Men can't show you, never cosro.
That is why the tomatoes are still expensive. The huge transportation costs account for why the foodstuffs are still expensive. 62-year-old Auntie Sisi spins the web of her memories of selling tomatoes at the Abra market. She's been selling tomatoes for more than half her age. Surrounded by many boxes of tomatoes here at the market, she is sad that foodstuffs are still expensive despite their abundance, a phenomenon she attributes to transportation difficulties.
Fertilizer into all my sister at once, and no one yet into the first.
Because of the fertilizers, the tomatoes tend to go bad within a short time. This, unlike previous years where we could store the tomatoes for longer periods. One of her greatest headaches is the excessive application of chemical fertilizer on crops like tomatoes these days. Most produce, according to the traders, are laced with chemicals. And most troubling pesticides and the nutritional deficiencies is that fruits and vegetables are now being picked prematurely. For instance, non-organic tomatoes are now being made to look red using synthetic ethylene instead of sunlight.
Fertilizer na hawaji ntanyo no ntumu nguwa nche first botu za anyo esi and then ntumu fanyo mfensi anyo nya wa fertilizer ti 20 mfensi no bono so wa basa ti abrabo na sesa na this year so anyo no poto ntumu mfensi anyo no poto pa.
The fertilizers are worrying us. We are unable to store the onions for longer periods. We want to appeal to government to look at the over-application of the fertilizers on our food crops. The rules too are bad. Even though there are foodstuffs, conveying them to the market centers at a huge cost.
Now I started there, or saying to fertilizer, or saying them, or my help papa.
Sister Hawa, her colleague, has also been selling onions for the past 15 years. Like Auntie Sisi, beyond the transportation difficulties, the onions and tomatoes go bad easily these days because of what they call an overdose of the use of chemical fertilizer by some farmers.
For sure. And to be not to buy a course and to other buy or then care ton 5 citizens or your bodula or your ton 7 citizens in there.
Because of the transport costs, the foodstuffs have become expensive. By the time we get to the market center from the farm gates, the prices shoot.
And to answer the Benya buyer says citizen, Chair Frank Krama, now ton of citizens. Who you want so when you want no so?
Mr. Body to be 20 years in me. Now, if it's in last year, I need this year. And so I can crew. I said this year, and I sign. Said Adrian no one in Tino. Say, Obinya Bibica Crabby Pa. No, so then I'm not there could be. Oh, at the turn and go. Now say, a shooting I didn't see my ebre. It is a brilliant or man, she so I met our bones and I done it. Crew.
Auntie Agi and Sister Ako sell yam and planting at the Abra markets. Even though they commend government for the planting for food and jobs policy, they want transportation difficulties considered. From the Abra market in Cape Coast, Richard Kwejunya for JoyNews.